Are you confused with all of the bonus offers for new credit cards and you're trying to figure out what to pick? Well, that's what they want. They want you confused. So you look at everything, you can't really compare one to the next. You think, oh, that looks like a great value, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that card. That's what they want you to do. Just take one because it's got a certain amount of bonus cash, bonus miles, bonus reward points. So I'm going to give you 3 examples and I'm going to compare offers and show you how to compare them. Cash cards that provide cash back with their bonuses, and then points and miles, and how you can compare them and look at them not just the short term but the long term to see how valuable they really are. Thanks for watching the channel. I'm Brian. I have videos on how to get out of debt and also videos on how to use credit cards to your advantage. So here's what I'm going to show on the first. We're just going to look at cash back cards. And there's 2 offers. This is May of 2024. These are current offers on. One is a Wells Fargo 2% cashback card. One is a Freedom 1.5% cashback card. And they both have bonuses. Let's compare them. The Wells card has a $200 bonus. And what you have to do is spend $500 on your card in the first 3 months of opening it. That's pretty reasonable. I think many people can hit that. Right? You're just going to have to spend $500 on the card, and hopefully you pay it off. You don't have a balance, that sort of thing. You're going to get a $200 bonus. That's great. Now, let's look at over the long haul and see how we can compare them. And I'm going to look at spends of $10,000. So once you were to spend $10,000, obviously you've hit your bonus because you only have to spend $500. So you're going to get $200 on your first $10,000 spend. You're also going to get 2% from the card, which is $200, okay? It's a total of $400. Then you spend another $10,000 over time, you're going to get $200 in cash. Total, $600. Let's just say that that's year 1. You've got $600 back. You charge all kinds of things on it, you pay it off, you don't keep a balance. You got $600 in cash. Now, next year rolls around, you spend $20,000 again, you're going to get a flat 2% of $20,000, which is $400. Going forward, you're just going to keep getting 2%. That's an excellent card. Freedom is at 1.5. Now their bonus is interesting. They say you get 1.5% bonus for your first year, is up to $20,000 spent. So that's why I'm using $20,000 as year 1. So you spend $10,000, you'll get your bonus of 1.5%. On the first $10,000 you spend that year, it's $150. You're going to get your 1.5% back because this is a bonus, making it a total of 3%. So that's $150. Your total is $300. You spend another $10,000, just apples to apples, and you're going to end up with another $150, another $150, and essentially you end up with a total of $300 on this $10,000, $300 on that $10,000, a total of $600. Next year rolls around, you do the same thing. You spend $20,000, you're going to get $300. It's 1.5%. So now you can see that year 1, this bonus yields you $600, and it was a $200 bonus. They use 1.5%, so these things look very different, yet they yield the same amount on a $20,000 spend. I use that because they've got $20,000 here. And if you charge all sorts of things and pay them off, I mean, why not use your credit card for gas, for clothes, for restaurants, for everything? And of course, only things that you can pay off by the end of the month. So you don't have any credit card charges, but you're getting cash back. Most people, $20,000, you spend $1,000 a month on those items. I mean, good grief, groceries alone, $800 to $1,000, plus some gas, you're over $1,000. That's $12,000. So it's not unrealistic that you would spend $20,000 over the course of a year. Why not if you can get $400 back? That's great to use for Christmas. But this one, as you can see, after that initial bonus period, they both worked out to be $600, and you're going to find that a lot of these cards, no matter how they do it, they all end up giving you about the same thing. They just try to make it obfuscated a little bit so you can't tell that they're really all giving you the same deal. But after that point in time, this card wins because, as you can see, going forward, it's 2. Not 1.5. Now you might think 0.5, not a big deal. Well, in this case, it's $100. Pretty significant. So that's how you compare cashback cards. Come up with a scenario based on the spend limits, and then just do simple math to see what the difference is. Now let me show you a rewards, miles, and travel points cards, because those are even more confusing. Why? Because they give you the terms, but then you have to take those points or miles and convert them, and you really don't know how valuable they may or may not be. It's a lot easier to compare cash. All right, so I put up here two different cards from Bank of America, and these are, they call them their points, so they give you points, but they talk about using them for travel. But this particular first card, and let's call it card 1 and card 2, says that if you spend $4,000 in 90 days, so you're going to have to spend roughly like $1,300 to $1,400 per month for 3 months, you'll get 60,000 points. They love to use these huge numbers because it's worth so much. They say the 60,000 points is worth $600. So what are they stating? They're stating that 1 point, if you just divide, 1 point is equal to 1 cent. I'll explain why that's important in a moment. Now this particular card has a $95 fee. They have some other bonuses and perks. And then after, that's just the bonus that you get. As you purchase things, you're earning 1.5 points per dollar. So for every dollar you spend, you're going to get 1.5 points. Now they claim that a point is worth a penny, so they're saying you're going to get 1.5 cents per dollar. Now, the second card does not have an annual fee. You spend $1,000 in 90 days. And then you receive the bonus of 25,000 points, which is worth, in their words, $250. Same thing, 1 point equals 1 cent. And going forward, you get 1.5 points per dollar. There's no fee on this card. So you're looking at it, and you immediately say, this one's going to give me 60,000. Now, forget the bonuses. What are you getting long term? 1.5 points for every dollar spent. 1.5 points for every dollar spent. To get this huge bonus, you have an annual fee of $95. To get this bonus, there's no annual fee. There are other perks. I'm just showing that in this case, they're going to say, hey, you're going to get $600 worth of travel when you book and use, I believe, their travel agency, if you will. Now, why is this important? This is important because on the prior screen, when we did cashback cards, and I have a video on this, I call it my 2-cent rule. But if you get 2% cash back, that's the equivalent of 2 cents. Okay? Because 2% of a dollar is 2, which is 2 cents. So that's a way to compare a cashback card, future value, with a travel type card, or a points card, or a miles card. So the freedom was 1.5%, which equals 1.5 cents, which is essentially the equivalent of these, assuming you're getting a value of 1 cent. Now, why do they love doing points? Because you have to redeem points. And if you're redeeming through them, they may have a profit margin built in, which means you might be getting a value of $600, but they may only be providing you something that costs them $400. Win-win, if you will. I only fall back on points cards because I've got a couple that I like. I, for example, really like United when it comes to converting it for flights because they provide the flights and you can get good deals. But when it comes to a lot of the travel cards, sometimes they're not that great. It really depends. It's hit or miss. I've got videos on how to actually calculate whether or not the points are worth it. But here you go. For points cards, that's what you look at. Take away the bonuses, look at what you're getting long term. Or is there an annual fee for it or not? And then do you think this is worth getting that card? If you're getting a $600, might be 600 minus 95. Well, that's, I was going to say 500, but it's $495. What? It's $505. Math is hard. All right, now we'll look at the next one, which is just miles. All right, I believe I just said this was going to be miles, but they call it points. There was a time when there were points-only cards, and they had merchandise malls that you could buy things, and some of them still do. And then those that had miles were only for travel, but now they've sort of interchanged, and a lot of these cards where you can redeem things for travel, like hotels and cars and flights, can also be used on things like merchandise. So a lot of them are sort of doing away with the whole miles and just calling everything points. But these were two travel cards. And I'm only going to point out one thing here. And that is that this particular one, the Chase, said their bonus was 75,000 points, and they said the value is $900. Okay, when you divide, you get 1.2 cents. A Capital One card, what's in your wallet, was 75,000 points, and they said it was worth $750, which comes out to the equivalent of 1 cent. This isn't based on what you're getting when you spend money. This was just the value, they said, of what you're getting. So by doing the math and dividing, you're going to come up with what are they actually providing you. They say the 75,000 is worth $900 when you go through their portal, their website, to book travel. And this one says theirs is only worth $750 when you go through their site and their portal to book travel. When it comes to points, when it comes to miles, I've got two different videos. One that shows you exactly how to calculate if you're exchanging points for merchandise or you're exchanging points for travel, and how you can figure out whether or not you're getting a good deal. I've exchanged points before and gotten almost 3 cents per dollar spent. In other words, the value I was getting was significantly more. So points can sometimes work in your favor, sometimes they can't. Why do they use points? Again, because you have to do the conversion. They're going to assume you won't. They're going to assume that you think that if you're getting points, points are free, so you don't care how it converts. So you're not going to bother doing the math. Well, that's not the case. If you follow this math, you'll be able to see. But for now, hopefully that was helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. I have a lot of them, over 200 at the moment. This is May of 24. Videos how to get out of debt and videos on how to use cards to your advantage. Please subscribe, and please also like if you found this helpful. And I appreciate you watching and your support. Thanks.